Should Cam Newton start after the bye week? Yo! Welcome to LCameraTV. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share cool things like Facebook and Reddit and Instagram and Roman.com and Twitter and wherever else. And guys, we got a lot to talk about today, man. First, we got to go over this amazing win that the Panthers had, obviously, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and how amazing that team was. Then we got to talk about that. We might have some controversy at the left tackle position. Definitely got to talk about that. And the big question everybody want to talk about, should Cam Newton start after the bye week? So we got a lot to talk about today, guys. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is that Carolina Panther game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was a masterpiece, man. Not so much on the offensive side. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey got bottled up. You know what I'm saying? He had two touchdowns in total, but he didn't have that many rushing yards, which is to be expected because Tampa Bay has a very good rush defense. And, he had one receiving touchdown, but he didn't do much that game. I'm just being honest with you. Kyle Allen played well. You know what I'm saying? He played a good game. I mean, obviously, it wasn't as good as the Cardinals game, but it was a good game. But the thing that we really have to talk about is that defense. That defense was stifling. They were like murderers out there, man. I'm like, they were killing Jameis Winston. Killing this man. I mean, 7 sacks. I think it was 6 turnovers, 5 picks, and 1 fumble recovery. And they made him fumble back-to-back plays. That defense was top-notch. I mean, James Bradbury had 2 picks. Ross Cockrell had a pick. Luke Kuechly had a pick. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm missing somebody. Oh, J.V. Elliott had a pick. So that's 5 picks right there. They had a fumble loss in recovery. And we sacked the man 7 times. The Panthers are leading the league in sacks. We have one person in the top 5 position in almost every category. Luke Kuechly's, top 5 in tackles. I think he's number 2 now. You have Mario Addison, top 5 in sacks. I think he's like number 4. You have James Bradbury tied for second with like 4 other people for most picks in the season with 3. We have a defense that is top notch. James Bradbury is definitely gonna get paid. I mean, I apologize for sizing James Bradbury before. Like I said, I like Jalen Ramsey a lot. I think Jalen Ramsey is still a very good corner. But James Bradbury, I didn't expect this from him. I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not expect him to play so well. But it's also because the pass rush is playing so well. So I guess one hand washes the other. You know what I'm saying? Because Ross Cockrell's looking good. He's getting picks. He had 2 picks in the games he started. Dante Jackson not even in, and he had 2 picks. Against the Cardinals. This defense looks top notch from top to bottom. Shaq Thompson looks like a baller. Luke Kuechly obviously read that play like it was a book and then picked it off on Jameis Winston. So the defense in total is very good. Brian Burns is a baller. Gerald McCoy had 2.5 sacks. I think 2.5 or 3 sacks, whatever, that game. So the defense overall is amazing. And this is a Super Bowl caliber defense. I've been saying it before. We definitely have a Super Bowl caliber defense. And I'm just happy to see our defense back to its original form. Without Eric Washington calling the calls, with Ron Rivera calling the calls, and we doing what we do, which is stifle teams and make it hard for them to throw the ball or run the ball or drop back and pass. That's that Panther defense, man. The second thing I want to talk about is that we might have some serious competition at left tackle. Now, mind you, I've been on record saying Greg Little is our best left tackle. Now, we have another surprise. Why? Because Greg Little has been in concussion protocol for the last, I think, 2 weeks. And they had to put Dennis Daley in as left tackle. And Pro Football Focus is rating him as a very good left tackle. I think his rating was 86.6 or whatever. He kept Shaquille Barrett from getting a sack. I think he had like 1 QB hit. He played great. So now we got 2 left tackles that are very good, and that tells you one thing. Darrell Williams is out of there. That means Trey Turner's going to come back. Darrell Williams ain't going to have no spot because obviously, maybe he'll probably back up and we'll probably move Dennis Daley to left guard. But to be honest with you, I like Greg Van Roten at left guard. He's been playing really well. So to me, I think they should be the 2 tackles. You know what I'm saying? Taylor Moton is very good, at right tackle. I don't see where Darrell Williams fit in. And obviously he wants to get a payday. We ain't paying him like that. Because we got 2 tackles that can be very good for us. They're both athletic and can move their feet and shift their feet. They're very good. So he's going to be gone. That's one thing. But the problem I have now is that who are you going to choose? Now, mind you, Greg Little has concussion issues recently. So do you want to have him to be your left tackle? You know what I'm saying? You don't know when the concussion might come back, whatever. But I think he might be a better left tackle overall. Like, I mean, Dennis Daley is very good run blocker, but as pass blocking, I'll take Greg Little. And pass blocking to me matters more as far as the left tackle, even though Greg Little has been a better run blocker than they say he will be anyways. And Dennis Daley has been a better pass blocker than they said he'll be. So we're in a very good situation. I mean, this is a good issue to have because, again, I remember we had no left tackle and we were searching every year with Michael Orr, Brian Bell, Matt Khalil. We were just getting left tackles left and right because we couldn't find a good one. And now we have two really good ones. So that's a good issue to have. And I don't want neither one to be traded. But I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to handle the situation because, again, Trey Turner, you already paid him. He's going to get a lot of money. He's going to be good at right guard. Taylor Moton is a draft pick also. He's right tackle. That's fine. Matt Paradis, you just paid him. He's center. Cool. The only people we really have in flexibility is Greg Van Roten because I don't think he has a big contract. I think he's, whatever. And Greg Little, our left tackle, position, which I think Greg Little's going to have. So what might be the smart thing to do is let Darrell Williams walk and then maybe have Dennis Daley as a backup for Greg Van Roten and a backup for Greg Little, and whichever one, if either one goes down or whatever have you, then you just switch them. And if next year Greg Van Roten becomes a free agent, or whenever he becomes a free agent, have Dennis Daley take that position, whatever, so we can have a solid offensive line. That's the best course of action because I like Greg Little, and because he had the concussion situation recently, you want to have two really good left tackles, and I think Dennis Daley can be that. So he'll probably be his primary backup, and we'll just leave Darrell Williams backup right guard for the rest of the year. And then when his contract's up, let him walk because he's not gonna be a good tackle anymore. His foot, he can't move his feet fast enough, so he has to be a guard personally. So, and finally, the question everybody's been asking: Cam Newton has been cleared, or they say he should start practicing after the bye week. And the question everybody's been asking is, should Cam Newton start against the 49ers if he's healthy? Now, mind you, we're talking about healthy Cam. Obviously, if Cam is 75%, no. If he's 85%, no. I'm talking about a healthy Cam Newton and a healthy Kyle Allen. My answer is yes. The reason why is because, one, I think Kyle Allen played a 50-50 4 games. I mean, 2 games he played really well. Against the Cardinals, he played really well. Against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he played well. Even though the defense gave him, very short fields, he did have a 99-yard drive. That was very good. You know what I'm saying? He played well. I'm not saying he played bad. You know what I'm saying? But those 2 games he didn't play that well. He had some fumbles and everything there or whatever. But overall, he played pretty well. But that's what a serviceable backup is supposed to do. You don't want your backup to be, horrible. Like, if he lost the last 4 games, we'll be begging for Cam Newton back, and we wouldn't be in a good situation. So I don't understand the idea that, okay, because our backup was good, we want him to replace our starter. That doesn't make any sense. I don't see the Saints doing that with Teddy Bridgewater. I don't see any other team doing it but the Panthers, which makes no sense to me personally. But a healthy Cam Newton is a better player than a healthy Kyle Allen. Now, mind you, if you're talking about a 75% Cam Newton and 100% Kyle Allen, I'm going to say go with Kyle Allen. But there's certain things that Cam Newton brings to the table that Kyle Allen cannot. QB sneaks. Very important. 4th and 1s, those times we needed, obviously against the Buccaneers the first time. If Cam Newton was healthy, we could do a QB sneak and probably got that first down and then, run up the middle with Christian McCaffrey or run it with that fullback and got a touchdown and beat the Buccaneers twice this year. But we did. Whatever. Scrambling. Kyle Allen is not good at it, obviously. You know what I'm saying? We see that, he tried to scramble a few times. He fumbles, stuff like that, whatever. So he's not good at that. Accuracy, I'll give it to Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen is a little bit more accurate than Cam Newton is. But we expected that from college. He was pretty accurate in college, whatever. He wasn't, inaccurate. He was never been inaccurate. Cam Newton sails a little bit. He's high a little bit, stuff like that. But you got to look at the overall picture. When Cam Newton was 100% healthy, and even, you could say he wasn't really, when he was 100% healthy last year in the beginning of the season, we were 6-2. And this is arguably a better defense. Not arguably, definitely a better defense than last year was. And Christian McCaffrey's playing better, and the O-line is better. So why would I not want a 100% Cam Newton in this situation when last year, when he was actually healthy, not talking about when he was injured, because everybody talks about, oh, he's 0-8 in the last 8 starts or 0-9, whatever it was. But we're not counting that he was injured in all those starts. I mean, when we talk about him healthy, he was 6-2. But nobody brings up that stat because obviously the narrative is Kyle Allen is winning games and Cam Newton is not. Now, mind you, I understand the whole premise of don't stop the hot hand. The hot hand is this and that, whatever, the third. But I also don't want a situation where this happens. We play him against 49ers because I think 49ers is one of the probably top 3 defense in the league. We play him against 49ers. He plays badly. Then you put Cam Newton in. Now you add an extra loss on your resume for no reason, and it's an NFC opponent, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to hurt you or hinder you later on in the future. Now, mind you, if he plays well against that game, then that's a whole different situation. But again, I've seen him go against, the Texans and play badly. I've seen him go against the Jaguars and not play well. I've seen him play, 2 subpar games. I've seen him play 2 good games against defenses that secondaries in general, because Cardinals secondary was trash and Buccaneers secondary is not good. It was the rushing defense for the Buccaneers that was very good, and that's why Christian McCaffrey didn't have that many yards. So San Fran's secondary is very good. Richard Sherman's back there. They said, what's his name? Jaquise Tart is back there. They have a pretty good secondary. You know what I'm saying? They get turnovers. They pick the ball off. I think they have 12 interceptions. I don't want to put Kyle Allen against that secondary, especially with that pass rush. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll be better to put 100% Cam. Now, mind you, again, I'm only saying if he's 100%. If he's not 100%, we have to go with Kyle Allen. I want him to be healthy. I don't want to hear about a nagging injury again. I want him to be healthy. But if he is healthy, he is the better player. He just is. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we can't argue that fact. Now, mind you, I hear people also saying, oh, well, Cam Newton could be a free agent. Why don't you let him walk? There is a report saying that if the Panthers decide to trade Cam Newton, there'll be at least 10 teams interested, obviously. The reason why those teams are interested is because they know how good of a player he is. You see what I'm saying? Like, if he wasn't a good player, there wouldn't be teams interested. But they said that at least 10 teams would be interested in getting Cam Newton. At least. So, why would you get rid of your franchise player, you know what I'm saying, to another team? And worst case scenario, I want to bring people back to this situation. Look at what happened with the Colts and Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. The Colts, Peyton Manning had a neck injury. They didn't know if he was going to come back. They got rid of Peyton Manning. They drafted Andrew Luck. They said, this is our guy. Peyton Manning goes on to go to 2 Super Bowls, break, I think, the touchdown record one year, wins the Super Bowl, retires, and Andrew Luck never lived up to anything Peyton Manning has ever done. That could be the same situation for the Carolina Panthers. We could get rid of Cam Newton, he could go to another team, win a Super Bowl or something like that, and then Kyle Allen is not what we thought he was, and then we're going to have a great defense, a great O-line, a great running back, good receivers, and no quarterback. That's what I fear. And that's why I think people are so, overzealous to get rid of Cam and keep Kyle Allen. But what happens is, when you have a situation like the Indianapolis Colts, where obviously Andrew Luck retired early, and now they're stuck with Jacoby Brissett, who's not a bad quarterback, but he's not who they wanted, that's the situation that happens. So you don't want that, man. You don't want to just, overreact to, the recent success. You can't overreact to the recent success. It's a very good team overall. Kyle Allen's playing well, but doesn't mean you get rid of your starter. So if it was me, I would start Cam Newton if he's 100% healthy. Well, that's it for me, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share cool things like Facebook and Reddit and Instagram and Rumble.com and Twitter and wherever else. And guys, in the comment section, man, let me know what you think we should do at left tackle. Greg Little or Dennis Daley, put that in the comment section below. Do you think Cam Newton should start after the bye week if he's 100% healthy? Put that in the comment section below. And also, guys, check out the Spreadshirt account. Check it out on the Patreon page. Both those links are in the description. Check out the NFL affiliate link. That link is also in the description below. Check those stuff out, man. Check out my dog Renard Steam's channel. Very funny dude, very talented. We also have a podcast together. Definitely watch those videos, man. I think we have a very unique style. You know what I'm saying? I think you guys really like it. So definitely check out those videos, man. And definitely leave comments, because I like reading y'all comments. I do read y'all comments. It's pretty entertaining. So definitely leave comments on that video. You know what I'm saying? Share with your Panther fans, you might Panther related, my football related, let them know LCameraTV is running Panther Nation, and Panther Nation running LCameraTV. Thank y'all for showing love. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm going to see y'all next time. Peace.